is the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. Tonight, before the eyes of over 40,000 Texans and live via closed-circuit television to over 300,000 viewers in theaters and arenas throughout the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom, in this boxing ring you'll see the World's Heavyweight Championship in a 15-round contest for the Heavyweight Championship of the world. Muhammad Ali, born Cassius Clay, called by many the fastest man ever to win the title, defends his title against the greatest knockout artist, the big cat from Houston, Texas, Cleveland Williams. Tonight's telecast is presented by Main Bout Incorporated. The promoter is Texas Boxing Enterprises, Earl Gilliam Promoter, in association with the Houston Sports Association, Incorporated. Doing a heavyweight championship of the world is naturally a great spectacular, probably the most interesting and spectacular event in sports between two contestants. And doing it from the beautiful Astrodome in Houston, Texas, the eighth wonder of the world, it's been called, is something else again. And tonight, before a crowd of more than 40,000 fans, we're going to see what we think might be a very exciting and interesting heavyweight championship bout between Cassius Clay, the heavyweight champion of the world, and the great knockout artist from Houston, Texas, the big cat, they call him, Cleveland Williams, who has scored 51 knockouts in his career. The crowd is still coming in to the vast Astrodome, which is 208 feet high here in the heart of Houston, Texas. And it looks as though it's going to be a fine evening. Many of these celebrities have been introduced to the crowd already, and some may be introduced again. We have such celebrities as Joe Louis, the heavyweight champion of the world, whom many consider the greatest heavyweight champion of all time, who is in the crowd tonight. And strangely enough, Louis, in his column in many papers, is one of the few who has picked Cleveland Williams to win the championship tonight. Clay, however, in the opinion of most of the experts, is a decided favorite. I'd like at this time to compliment the thousands of people in the United Kingdom who, where it is nearly 4 o'clock, are jamming the theaters over there to see our telecast via the early bird satellite. And we hope they'll enjoy it over there as we expect to enjoy it here in Houston, Texas. The big crowd is still coming into the arena. They're filling it up. It seats 66,000 for boxing, and we have a crowd of more than 40,000. I'm Don Dunphy, who will be with you at ringside tonight, and working with me is that great, famous athlete whom I consider one of the greatest of all time, the great ex-fullback of the Cleveland Browns, who forsook his football career recently for a career in the movies, and will currently appear in a picture called The Dirty Dozen. Jimmy, it will be very nice to be working with you tonight.
Thank you, Don. It's very nice to be working with you again. Should be quite a fight. It's the big fight, I guess, of the year. Power against speed. And tonight, I believe that Muhammad Ali will show his speed at its greatest.
And now we're ready for the contestants to come in, Jim. I believe that Cleveland Williams will be in first. I'll be talking to you between rounds.
Well, Don, we'll try to do a good job for the people out there.
I'm sure we will, Jim.
Just like this. Just like this.
Coming down the aisle now for the biggest fight of his important career, the challenger for the heavyweight championship tonight, who will weigh in at what his handlers consider a very fine weight, 210.5 pounds. Cleveland Williams, the big knockout artist from Houston, Texas. And incidentally, Cassius Clay, the champion, came in at a surprising 212 3/4 pounds, which is a little bit more than 9 pounds more than he weighed when he knocked out Karl Mildenberger in Frankfurt, Germany on September 10th. The added weight could slow down Cassius Clay, the Muhammad Ali, as he prefers to be called, or it could add to his punching power. Cleveland Williams, however, while giving away 2 1/4 pounds in weight, nevertheless is going to have a reach advantage over the champion. Now I hear a roar of combined applause and boos in the background, and that can mean only one thing. Here comes Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, the heavyweight champion of the world. He is limbering up as he comes down the aisle. And very serious he looks. Right behind him is famous trainer Angelo Dundee, trying to look over his left shoulder. Cleveland Williams coming into the ring, getting a tremendous ovation. Naturally, he's a hometown boy. Hugh Benbow, his manager, on the left of your screen. Harry Payne, the trainer. And there's Cassius Clay in the ring. I guess you can see from what has happened now that it is going to be a very partisan crowd. Jimmy, you know the champion as well as anybody. Does a partisan crowd bother him?
Not at all, Don. The champ realizes what he has to do, and he knows that the crowd's going to be against him. In fact, he likes this. He believes that his campaigning in the past has caused this, and as long as they're here, he's happy.
As long as they've paid their way in, everybody's happy.
Exactly it, yes. And it's a good crowd tonight.
Jim, there's quite a surprise in the selection of the referee. An old friend of ours who refereed many, many bouts in New York, Harry Kessler, whom we haven't seen in a long time from New York and St. Louis, is going to be the third man in the ring. There is Harry Kessler, the silver-haired gentleman behind one of the trainers.
Well, he's an old pro and a good one.
Oh, he's a good referee. You know, a champion who puts his title on the line in a city other than his own, Jim, is sometimes wary of the reception he might receive or the reaction of the judges and the referee. But I'm sure that Clay will have, regardless of how the fight goes, will have no complaint, because I have the highest regard for the officials here in Houston.
Very true, Don. I think the champ was more worried when he was out of the country, because, you know, sometimes when you're out of the country, you really have a hard time.
There's Cleveland Williams sitting calmly on his stool. Jim, for the first time in some time, Clay is going to fight a man pretty nearly his size. He has only about a half-inch in height on Williams and a very negligible 2 pounds in weight. And Williams has a slight edge in reach, 83 inches to 79, but I don't think many of us put too much stock in that.
Well, it should make a difference, John. He is big. He's very powerful upstairs. He has that long reach, and he has that ever-powerful punch. And this is the reason that I think we have the large crowd out here tonight, because they realize that Williams can win, and that he can win big.
Jim, anytime there's a puncher in there, you just don't take your eyes off the ring.
That's right.
As you can see, the gloves are being put on in the ring. They are wearing the 8-ounce gloves here in Houston. Clay's gloves are being attached by his longtime and famous trainer, Angelo Dundee.
You know, the one thing that worries me, Don, about the champ, he was entertaining people right up to fight time tonight. You know, he doesn't seem to be worried about Williams at all. And this is very strange.
It is hard to compare. Here's the announcer, Benny King.
The greatest since 1955 together at any one sporting event of boxing. We think this is a great tribute to the Houston's Astrodome and to Earl Gillum, the promoter of this event. In our audience, out of the boxing field, but a celebrity in his own right, Jimmy Brown, the great Cleveland Browns fullback, Jimmy Brown.
Jimmy Brown being introduced.
And from New Orleans, Al Hurt, the great trumpeter, Al Hurt. have been assigned here by the Texas State Boxing Commission. Charles H. King, Commissioner for the state. Alton Erickson, Director. The officials, timekeeper Woody Myers. Counting for the knockdown at the bell, Jimmy Lee. The ring clerk, Hugh Randall. The doctors in attendance at ringside, Dr. Arthur E. Morris and Dr. Jack Bevel. The referee for the main event from New York and St. Louis, world famous Harry Kessler. Harry Kessler. This is the main event of the evening. 15 rounds. The judges, Ernie Taylor, Jimmy Webb. For the heavyweight championship of the world, from Houston, weighing 210 1/2 pounds, P.H.E. Pat, Big Pat Cleve Williams.
A tremendous roar greets Cleveland Williams. Meanwhile, Cassius Clay spars in the background.
Heavyweight champion of all the world, 212 3/4 from Louisville, Kentucky, Muhammad Ali. 15 rounds.
We will try to pick up the instructions by the referee, Harry Kessler. Benny King is giving him the microphone.
Watch the holding. In a real close fight, the fellow that does the grabbing and spinning and holding will not get the round. In the event of a slip, fall, or knockdown, you go to the farthest corner and stay there till I wave you back. Take hands now and come out boxing.
The scoring here in Houston, the 10 points must. 10 points to the winner of a round, 9 or less to a loser. For an even round, they each get 10 points. The mandatory 8 count is in effect. There is no 3 knockdown rule. No 3 knockdown rule here in Texas. And the count will not continue at the bell if a man is floored near the bell. A man knocked out of the ring must be back by 10. The referee can penalize up to 2 points for a foul. He will tell the judges how much to take off. White trunks, Williams in black. Williams stalking his man. Nobody's been hit yet. Clay figures to dance around in the early rounds and tire out the older man who was 33 to Clay's 24. Williams said he's just going to stop, but is not going to dive in aimlessly. Finding the range with the left hand. Round 1 half over. That's a good left jab. Less than a minute to go in the round. Williams in his first punch, the left jab. Clay so far. There's the bell ending round one. We're going to go to the corner of the heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay, who was born in Louisville, Kentucky, January 17th, 1941, 24 years old, 6 feet 3, 212 3/4 pounds, a reach of 79 inches. In the corner with him, Angelo Dundee, his trainer of many years, looking at him head on. Luis Sarria is on the left-hand side, leaning in, and the other gentleman in there is Kit Carson, one of his handlers. Now I'm going to ask Jim Brown, as we look in at Clay, what he thought of that first round.
Well, it was a very good round for the champion. I noticed he used his Ali shuffle. I noticed that after dancing around the first few seconds, he decided that he could hit this guy, and that's what he did.
Jim, it's rare that the champion opens up so fast, but he found that Cleveland wasn't coming to him, so I guess he decided to move in. Here's round two of a 15-rounder, and few expected to go that far. Cassius Clay pumping the left hand, the champion in the white trunks. Williams in black. Great left jab that Clay has. Williams' best punch, the left hook. Minutes left in the round. Bleeding slightly from the nose. Now it's bleeding a little more. A testimony to Clay's sharp jab. That's the Ali shuffle. Is getting an awesome going over here in the second round with less than a minute to go. Right. There are 40 seconds left to go in the round. Taking the mandatory 8 count. 33 seconds left. Seconds left. 7, 8. He takes the mandatory 8 count. There's no 3 knockdown roll here. Down a first time. The bell will ring. Cleveland Williams is saved by the bell. The count does not continue. His manager, Hugh Benbow, and his trainer, Harry Payne, carrying him back to the corner. They will try to revive him in time to get him out for round 3. Cleveland Williams showing his age and more, 33 years old. Just no contest in these first 2 rounds. No contest at all as Clay overshadows the challenger, the big cat from Houston. Jim?
Well, it looks like the champion decided that he's going to show something tonight. He's had 2 terrific rounds. Williams somehow doesn't seem to be able to close in at all.
Round 3 coming up. Here's round 3. Down for the fourth time. 6, 7, 8. Harry Kessler wipes off the gloves. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. Williams gamely fights back. The 3rd round, and the champion Cassius Clay will defend that title once again, and tonight he has successfully defended it against the man who was supposed to be the hardest hitter.
Of the 3rd round, the bout stopped by the referee.
Jimmy, take over.
Real fine, Don. Well, it seems that the challenger is a little too old. The champion is a little too young and strong. I think a very interesting point is that the champion weighed in tonight at 212 and a half. And Angelo Dundee and myself always said that this was his best weight, somewhere from 209 to 212. And believe me, tonight you could see the strength and you could see the determination. Don Dunphy is up in the ring. He's trying to get to the champ. There's turmoil around. But I think it's a great fight for Muhammad Ali. I think he's proved a lot tonight. I hope that the fans realize that this guy does have a punch. He used his Ali shuffle. He did everything that he said he would. And believe me, in a way, he surprised me because before the fight, he seemed not to regard Williams as a great challenge at all. I think for 3 rounds, we had a good look at what the champion can do. Don Dunphy is now trying to get close to him. I don't know. There's so many people in the ring. I think that voice that you heard behind me was Rahman Ali, Muhammad Ali's brother, who was really overjoyed at the way that the champ came out tonight. He was big, he was strong, he was fast, and poor Cleveland Williams didn't seem to have the agility at all. He didn't seem to have maneuverability in his legs. And not to take anything away from the champ, I have to say that I believe that that gunshot wound did take something out of Cleveland Williams.
Get out of the way, will you, fellas?
And right above me now, Don Dunphy with the champ. Don, are you ready?
We're going up that way.
You ready, Don?
Here we are with the successful heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali, born Cassius Clay, who has successfully defended his title for the 7th time, and I thought it was your easiest fight. What did you think?
Well, Don, first I must give praise and thanks to Almighty God Allah and the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for enabling me to live a clean life in order to fight and defend my title so much. And if it wasn't for the religious life that I am living, and now that I am a minister for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I feel much better and more confident. But this is my 7th title defense, and I have successfully defended the title 5 times in 1 year, as I predicted after beating Floyd Patterson. And now we plan to go on to meet Ernie Terrell in maybe another 4 or 5 months if he accepts the challenger's share as he is the challenger. And I would like to say
be happy to fight you.
hello to all of my friends who are
Let me ask you a couple of questions, will you, champ? First of all, did you find Williams particularly easy?
Well, no, Williams was much faster than I thought he would be. What I have heard about his training, I didn't believe he would be as fast as he was, but as you know, I'm weighing 212 pounds for this fight, much heavier than most of my fights.
Champ, we want to see the last round on the video replay. If we can see it on the monitor down here. Here you are coming out for the round 3 now. Can you see it there, champ?
Yes, I can see. As you see, Williams is jabbing me good. He's reaching. And
That's
he's
blue and
really
white.
That was a right hand that just caught him. That was a body punch. My main objective was to hit and not be hit, sticking and moving, as you see. He just caught another 1-2 punch. There goes my Ali shuffle that I've just created. I think you see it again. There it is again, but the camera didn't pick up the footwork. But this was awful confusing, that Ali shuffle, and this is something new for boxing.
Well, you might have beaten him anyway.
Well, I believe I've beaten him anyway, but that Ali shuffle really confused him.
What do you think about the fact that they don't have a 3 knockdown rule here?
Well, I think that it should have been stopped earlier because he could have been seriously hurt. I'm hitting him so solid, as you see, in regular.
And he was wobbling.
Yeah. He took a lot of punches, and he had a reputation for hitting hard, but he just couldn't find nothing to hit. I was just hitting so regular. And I want to say hello to all of the college people out there who are watching the fight. Many colleges I piped this fight into. That was just a good left punch. That was a solid right cross. Punches so fast I can't keep up with him. Referee stopped it. I'd like to say hello to my friend Herb Compton out there, who's watching the fight, into the fabulous mansion of Mr. Hugh Hefner, and all of my friends in Chicago, and all of the colleges. And
you're wound up. Dad, just a moment. We're going to have a replay from a different angle here, Champ, so you can look at the shuffle a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't see the shuffle. If I can see the shuffle a little better, I'll see how I look myself. This is something new that I'm introducing to the art of boxing. Only fighters with fast footwork can do this Ali shuffle. You have to be fast on your feet. You have to be timed just right. And I think I did time it just right. There it goes. There it goes. If I could see it again here.
Champ, in all fairness, Les Kiter wants to say hello to you, and I'm going to thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Don.
And good luck in your succeeding fights. You've certainly been...
Rahman Ali wants to say hello to his beautiful wife out there.
I'm going to give it back to Jim Brown here.
Well, you all heard the champ. You heard what he had to say about his Ali shuffle. You heard what he had to say about the television going into the colleges. I know what the writers are going to probably say, that it was an old Cleveland Williams with a bullet in him, but I think that the champ looked better tonight than he has in his last prize fight. He was bigger, he was stronger, and he was faster. And for some reason, he had a lot of confidence against Cleveland Williams. Don, are you back? Okay.
I'm back, Jim, but I don't know if I'm all in one piece. Look at that mob up there.
Big crowd. Big crowd.
Well, I don't know. Ernie Terrell has a wonderful record, but off this fight, he too will be the underdog, I'm sure.
If the champ comes in around 212, Terrell is going to have a hard time.
Incidentally, Jim, you're a great athlete, and you know something about training. There were those who said that Clay would be hurt by the added weight over the Mildenberger fight, almost 10 pounds. There are others who said he could even be faster, and he certainly wasn't slowed up, was he?
Not at all. If you remember, he fought Chuvalo overweight at 214. He was actually fat that fight, and he was still fast. And Angelo Dundee has always told him that he should fight for him at least 2'9". I've always said that he should be at least 2'9", because he's bigger, he's stronger, he seems to have more confidence.
More confidence? Did he ever need more confidence?
Well, he's about the most confident guy I know.
Jim, from the first time I saw Cassius Clay, now Muhammad Ali, and there he is smiling as though he hadn't even walked around the block. He was the most confident fighter I ever saw. When I first saw him with Alonzo Johnson, back in Louisville about 1961, and even then he was a...
This is very true. I think the only fighter that had him worried before he fought him the first time was Sonny Liston. There was the question about Liston in his mind at the time, and before that fight, he told me that he was very worried about Liston because he knew Liston could hit. But for some reason, although they said that the big cat could hit, he didn't seem to be worried about this man.
Well, I can tell you this, Jim. When and if he fights Terrell, and I'm sure he will probably early in the winter, who will run into a left jab maybe as good as his
best
own.
in the business.
Yes.
The best. Terrell has the best left jab in the business.
And he will actually face a man 3 inches taller than he is for the first time. He'll be facing a taller man.
That's right, but Terrell is going to have to develop something a little more than that left hand. But at least he's young enough, and Terrell is really game to fight Clay in this particular one coming up.
I have never seen an opponent look good against Terrell. He has a remarkable record, you know. He's beaten the best of them. He's beaten Williams. He's beaten Foley, Doug Jones. He's beaten some pretty good men, and none of them have ever looked good. Now, I wonder if this could happen to Clay.
Well, there's a possibility because he is so tall and because he has that long, hard left jab. But I think that Clay believes very definitely that he can beat Terrell, and I think this is a factor with this champion. What he believes.
Jimmy, I believe we are going to replay the knockout again from another angle. We have played it twice already, but we have so many cameras around in this lovely Astrodome. Here's another angle, a low-angle shot. Now, that's Williams in black.
Came out with a good punch. That short right he likes to use. There's the shuffle. He's very proud of this. He worked on it and worked on it, and he said he's going to use it. And we're worried to death about it because it's a dangerous thing to do. That was the punch.
Yes. Maybe people will begin to think that Clay can also punch.
It looks that way tonight, Don, really. I think the punch that he hit Williams with before the bell was probably the best one of the night.
Probably. Well, he started on him in the first round.
Very true. You'll notice Williams has very bad mobility. He's awfully stiff in the legs, even in the first round. And I think really that...
you could see that when he wobbled, Jim.
When he wobbled, yes. But the agility is not there. I think we have to admit that this man isn't the same Big Cat Williams that he was before the accident.
No, it's unfortunate that he didn't get a shot at the title a few years ago before he had his accident and while he was still young. But I don't know if he could cope with that speed at any time, Jim.
Well, it's now speed and strength.
I want to ask you, Jim, what you think of this beautiful Astrodome. They call it the Taj Mahal of all athletic stadia around the world, and I'm inclined to agree with them.
Oh, it's a beautiful sight. They call it the 8th wonder of the world, and the people are out here tonight.
There it is now. We're getting a good shot. We're going out of the ring light. It is 208 feet high, as you know, Jim. I'm glad we weren't up on top.
Very true. You wouldn't be able to see anything, Don.
The place is not lighted now as it was earlier before the preliminary started, so we can't get a view of the upper regions. But I didn't get the attendance, but I'm sure it's in the neighborhood of 40,000.
It would have to be at least 40,000. Every $5 and $10 seat was sold out, and
there were many of them.
Almost filled, yes. Very true.
Now, of course, you see the ringside, which is pretty empty. Incidentally, we have on this coverage, Jim, we have stations carrying this all over the world. They'll get it by tape. It'll be flown over by jet, and others have gotten it by early bird satellite. I think it's one of the largest coverages of any sports event of any time. Millions in Europe, Ireland, France, Holland, West Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Italy, and Spain. In Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Zambia, Liberia, Sudan, Uganda. In the Middle East, we had Kuwait. In the Far East, in Asia, Japan, and Hong Kong, Singapore, in Australia, in Sydney, in New Zealand, in South America, Venezuela, Uruguay, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Trinidad, Tobago, Suriname, Kingston, Jamaica, to mention only a few.
A lot of countries.
Jim, what I was intrigued at was the Odeon Theatre in London was sold out early this evening. Now, remember, these people would see the start of the fight at 3:30 a.m. over there. Now, that's a pretty good hour to go to a prize fight. Jim, I'm going to ask Ernie Terrell to come over here. He certainly is the crown prince of boxing. He certainly is entitled to the next shot at the heavyweight championship, and I'm sure that Clay, who is very fair, is going to give him the shot. And Ernie, I don't know if you heard the interview I had with the champion, but he said he'd be happy to fight you next if, here's the big if you would take the challenger's end.
I don't know. I think the terms we will come to in a fight like this, because it's a lot of money that can be made. All we got to do is sit down and talk, and I'm sure that we can come to happy medium. Well, we can come to a medium. I don't know whether it'll be happy or not.
Why is that what they say when those big executives sit down and talk to each other, that good and honest people can get together and settle their differences over the conference table?
Yeah, well, that's right. But, well, it's going to be two differences to settle here. We may have to settle one over the conference table, but that's going to be a mild one. The difference is we have to settle is in the ring, and that's the way I want to.
One in the ring. You think you can beat it?
Oh yeah, I know I can. I can beat the Clay I saw here tonight. He beat Williams, of course, and I expected him to beat Williams. And if you remember, I beat Williams not a few years ago when he was a good fighter.
Yes, I remember you beat him in Philadelphia.
Well, that's right. So Clay, whenever you can handpick your opponents, and Williams is down lower than other fighters in the ranking, so he got to meet a real top rank. He got to meet a top fighter when he meets me, because I'm the best fighter in the world.
Well, now I'm Don Dunphy, and I stand 5'9", and you can see how much taller Ernie Terrell is than I am. And actually, he is 3 inches taller than Cassius Clay. How about that, Ernie?
Well, I never thought about it that way. I just looked at it from the ability standpoint of view, and I have more ability than the fighter I saw today, and I'll beat him.
What about the Ali shuffle? Will that bother you?
Well, I don't know what that is. I just know the fighter, Ali, that was in the ring that night.